All right, we are here with Chelsey and Rufus Johnson. Both have contributed to Person County as educators with Person County Schools. Chelsey is currently with Northern Middle School, and Rufus is currently with Alamance County, teaching in that school system, but he is also a Person County native, so he will be a lifelong Personian no matter where he goes.
Right.
So we want to talk with you all about your lives growing up, your lives together, the work that you all are doing, and just all the many great things that lies ahead for you in the future. So, Chelsey, since you are not the Person County native, we're going to start with you. Tell us about your upbringing.
So I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. I attended Wake County Public Schools, graduated from the great Southeast Raleigh Magnet High School in 2008. And then I attended the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. And I majored in chemistry, concentrated in forensic chemistry, and minored in criminal justice. And I also was raised at Good Hope Missionary Baptist Church in Knightdale, North Carolina, where we also got married. And I had an upbringing of being in the youth choir, ushering, as well as teaching Vacation Bible School. And I'm the oldest of 4 and of 3 girls and 1 boy. So that's a little about me.
So after being at UNC Pembroke, what was your path in terms of getting to Person County?
It's a journey, but at the time they needed a lot of science teachers in North Carolina. So we were actually recruited through the science department. And so upon graduation, we could possibly be in a school system. But back then, even though it was 9 years ago, they wanted us to go through a path called the lateral entry program. And so at the time, a lot of counties did not offer and accept lateral entry teachers. So basically you would be teaching in your degree fields. I would be teaching still in the science field. But luckily that Person County was one of the very, very few at the time that accepted lateral entry teachers, as well as another county that also offered me a position. Person County got me first. But at the time, Mr. Chris Tomasic and Mrs. Amy Seat, they invited me to come to Person County's job fair, open house. And so there I met at the time the superintendent and HR, and I just felt welcomed. They sat down and talked to me about the path of the lateral entry program, how Person County will assist me and things like that. So I had a lot to consider compared to the other county that offered me a position as well. And Mr. Tomasic gave me a call and had me tour the school again. He was very, very persistent. And so I could not let him down with that. So I accepted, and I'm still here at Northern Middle School. And Person County, out of all counties, did not know where it was originally. And it is quite different than Wake County growing up in the city, but I truly have enjoyed my adulthood here in Person County. So met a lot of different people and even met this one right here. So yes, a lifelong Personian, I guess you could say now, married into the county.
All right, so what was your original goal before you got into teaching?
So since I majored in chemistry, my concentration was like forensic chemistry. So the whole CSI, behind the scenes of a crime scene, that was my ultimate goal. I knew what I wanted to major in. And Pembroke was one of the very few in-house North Carolina schools that had that concentration. And so I knew what I wanted to do. But my goal was to get a job as soon as I graduated in May, move out by October, and at least start my job in August. So that did not work out. But once they started recruiting us science teachers, and I had a friend that also majored in biology who was teaching in a local county near Pembroke. He kind of told me about the whole lateral entry side as well and the perks of teaching and education. And so I kind of started digging into it, and I kind of fell in love with, the schedule and things like that. So do I miss the part of the forensics? Of course, but I have fallen in love with education. So.
All right. So Rufus, you are the Person County native.
Yeah.
So tell us what it was like growing up in Person County.
Well, just to let you know a little bit about myself and my growth in Person County. Basically, I went to Oak Lane Elementary School, and from there, my family, we moved to the other side of town. So originally, I was supposed to be going to Southern Middle School, and at that age, when you get ready to transition from elementary to middle school, you know, you want to feel wanted and being around your friends. And but basically, because we moved on the other side of town, I had to make new friends. So I eventually landed at Northern Middle School, home of the Raiders. So eventually, I would actually work there. From there, I graduated from Person High School, class of 1999, best class. And after my time at Person High School, I also went to UNC Pembroke for 2 years, and then I transferred to UNC Greensboro, where I received my business administration degree there. So my journey in Person County was basically a great time where, you know, you got that down home feel, not only from your family that lives in Person County, but also the people that you grew up to know and share experiences with. Also, during my time in Person High School, I did participate in sports. So from cross country to playing basketball, those were some of my pastimes there when I was growing up as a Person County native.
Okay, so you talked about going to UNC Pembroke, then UNCG. So what was your focus in college? What did you pursue?
So originally, when I first went to UNC Pembroke, I wanted to major in computer science, and there was a lot of talk at the time where computer science was the way to go. You would definitely have a job, and even though I did like some of the elements of computer science, I didn't quite feel like that was something that I wanted to actually do. But now looking back later in life, I see that you still need some of those skills to be successful in today's job market. But eventually I transitioned to and transferred to UNCG, where I graduated with a business degree, and I felt like business was always in my blood because of my grandparents. My grandfather, Willie Jeffers Johnson, he owned the dry cleaners in Person County, the Deluxe Dry Cleaners. And also my grandfather, Pete Humphrey, he owned a garage, he was an auto mechanic in South Boston, Virginia. So that entrepreneurship blood was in my veins. So it led me to major in business. So that was my path to getting my college degree. So.
Okay. So how did you move into education?
So how I transitioned to working in education, basically I was had moved back home from living in Greensboro for a little while, and I was there to actually help out with my grandparents as they had gotten a little older now. So I was back at home to help out with some of the basic needs with them, and a particular job opening came up where they needed an in-school suspension coordinator. And that was actually at Northern Middle School. So that's how I began to get in the educational field. Also, with my mother being an educator in Halifax County, South Boston, Virginia, There always been teaching in my blood from not only her, but my grandmother and my father, who was also the head of the Educational Opportunity Center in Person County. So education basically was in the blood. So eventually it hit me during that time. So that's how I got started working in education.